Hello and welcome back everyone to episode 53 of the Columbus Comics Corner podcast. My name is Ryan. With me as always is Alan. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Good. And we want to thank everyone for joining us for this fine episode it shall be. Let's go ahead and get some house stuff out of the way first. As always, you can find all of our episodes at columbuscomicscorner.podbean.com and on iTunes as well. And not even just episodes, really just the shows that we are putting out on that feed. Right now we have X-Men Monday, we have Talkin' Legion, which should be coming back very soon. I would say by the start of February.
Very soon.
Yes. We have trade episodes that we put out. We do this Uncanny Sessions where we talk about Uncanny Avengers, all kinds of good stuff, and more news coming soon on all of that. But for now, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at Comics Corner Pod. And we also have a website, which is columbuscomicscorner.tumblr.com. And just to let you know, we are a spoilers podcast. So if you have not read Quarry's War, which is the book we will be discussing later in the episode, definitely go ahead and hit pause or come back when you're ready to hear it. But if you just want to hear our thoughts before you go out and buy the book, or decide to buy the book, maybe you want to hear our review first before you go out and buy it. But yes, other than that, guess what, Alan?
What's that?
We are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network, so we definitely appreciate all the support over there. And make sure you go ahead and go support all those podcasts are over there also. But yeah, we have a couple bits of news, and then like I said earlier, we're going to be talking about Quarry's War from Titan Comics. But let's go ahead and get into our first piece, though, because this kind of came out of nowhere, and I will definitely make sure this is posted on our Talkin' Legion Twitter feed as well, because I'm sure maybe people want to hear our thoughts on this bit of news that came out. And that's Legion's Shadow King is to be recasted. Wow. A lot to touch on here. But I pulled this from Newsarama, and it's kind of funny. Like, Newsarama kind of touched on it like a week or a few days after I actually saw it on the actor's feed that he mentioned it, so I'm surprised there was such a delay. Maybe we should start doing news articles, breaking stories here first.
Just in.
And he stopped unfollowing us, so I was like, oh, that's a good sign that he will not be a part of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, Saeed, I hope I pronounced his name right. Saeed Tagamu has dropped out of Shadow King of FX Legion midway through filming, reports Variety. No reason was given for the departure, but FX is looking to recast the role. And Tagamu tweeted about the departure and said, a big surprise would be coming soon. So who knows what that could mean. Maybe a future, maybe a surprise as far as she's going to be picking up the role, or maybe his next project, who knows. But the actor had previously posted a photo of him from Legion's set. Like, he had the claws, the creepy hands, like the makeup was really sweet. I was like, okay, I was excited. But yeah, Tagamu was cast as Shadow King early in July, and filming the new season began in September. No debut date of Legion's second season on FX has been given. But yeah, this really came out of nowhere. What are some of your thoughts on this?
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Total surprise. Total shock. Curious as to what this might mean. I mean, halfway through filming. Mm-hmm. I mean, purposes, everything can, for story purposes, be somebody else. So it makes you wonder if maybe they got to a point in the story where it's like, okay, he jumped bodies, so we no longer need him to portray the Shadow King, or wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Who knows what this means for filming? Yeah, because it's just odd news to drop so far into production and filming. I mean, this possibly could cause delays with the release schedule. Because I thought I remember hearing roughly February is when we'd be getting it. So maybe it's going to be a little bit after that, because I know the comic is coming out in February as well, so I figured maybe they'd try to release both at the same time to really get a lot of eyes on the comic book side of things, plus the show as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's definitely some behind-the-scenes stuff that we'll never probably ever hear about. Maybe down the road it'll come out of what happened. But yeah, when I saw this and I saw his tweet, I was just baffled, and I would have sent him a direct message, but I think probably by the time he by the time I saw it, he stopped unfollowing us on the Talking Legion Twitter feed, so we weren't able to do a direct message. But I would have loved. He probably wouldn't have gave us anything, but I just would have
probably not
liked to hear something. The darker side of my mind, I'm just hoping, with all the celeb out being caught out for the allegations towards him, I just hope it's not that. I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, it could be anything, and things have been crazy lately, so who knows?
Who knows? Exactly. But yeah, it's really. I just hope this doesn't cause a 3 or 4 month delay. Maybe. I mean, the whole. I don't know if you heard about Kevin Spacey being kicked off of that movie, and they replaced him. They just put the trailer out literally like 2 days ago. They filmed it. They filmed it he got kicked off a movie. They got rid of all of his parts, brought in a new actor, and then they dropped the trailer. And I guess it was reported that like 2 days before was actually when they filmed everything.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a really Scott joint. So I mean, maybe we'll get that sort of turnaround for Legion. I mean, I doubt it's gonna be hopefully it's not a bump in the road for him. But I think everyone's just kind of wondering, and not a lot of people are talking about this either, which is kind of odd. I mean, it being Legion, one of the most popular shows that came out this year, being a mutant show as well. Yeah, but not a lot of people are touching on this from what I've heard so far. But I mean, this is big to us because one, we love Legion, the show, love Shadow King. We have a podcast about Legion, so of course we have to touch on this. But yeah, it's all very odd.
I think that it's being overshadowed by other stuff. There's other higher profile, shall we say, things going on. So this is kind of going under the radar.
Yeah, maybe give it a week or two. Maybe finally people, after all the hype dies down of something we'll be talking about here in just a little bit. Maybe after all that hype dies down. Maybe after all the hype dies down, they'll maybe touch on it. I do hope we get some sort of I'd like a statement from Legion or FX in regards to the matter, because it's just odd, that's all. And a little worrisome. I just want Legion to come out ASAP.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get on to some more upbeat, brighter news. Oh boy. Yep, so we heard Marvel was going to drop some knowledge on us. And that they did. Was it yesterday, 2 days ago now, I believe, when we're recording this? They dropped.
See, I know what you're talking about now.
They dropped the Avengers Infinity War trailer.
Yes, and the internet promptly exploded.
Oh, yes. I probably watched it at least 30 times before this show tonight.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. I know I've watched it a ton of times.
Yeah, but that's why we're going to talk about it, because we're here to discuss it. And I figured let's go ahead and just give our overall thoughts on it, and then we can kind of get into the trailer itself. But what were your initial thoughts, feelings, emotions? Everything that hit you when you watch this 5 million times.
Oh my goodness! They're dropping this way sooner than I thought they were going to drop it. My brain almost exploded. I was excited. I was picking things out and was trying to see how much they were going to show, how much they weren't going to show. Like, I was just floored.
Yeah, and you're
stunned.
You watched the leaked one, didn't you, as well?
Yes, okay. I saw the leaked one way back at the when the Comic-Con happened, when San Diego happened. I saw the one that leaked.
Yeah, I did not watch that one. I was like, I'm going to wait for that crystal clear picture. I want to be soaked in it. And I'm glad I waited. But you know what I'm going to say? My first note would be, I'm checking out after this. I don't need any more.
Yeah, that was epic. Like, that was amazing that they did that epic with the first trailer.
Yeah, they gave us things I didn't even expect to see, which I appreciate. But we'll get into that. But yeah, this is it though. This is everything that they've built up to.
Yeah.
And it feels that way. like with the narration, you have Nick Fury at the beginning and Vision talking as well. But Nick Fury is really what did it for me. That really like it soaked in the fact that this is like what 10 years in the making.
No, this is longer than 10 years.
You probably know more. You got the whole box over there.
Yeah, Marvel's been making movies way longer than 10 years.
What are we saying? Can't be more than 20. Well,
it's not 20, but I'm saying...
I mean, like, this, the whole phases, that's all.
The phases is like 12 or 13 years in the making.
Okay, that makes sense.
It doesn't quite seem like it when you hear the number, but yeah.
No, because I always forget, Iron Man was the very, very first one, correct?
Yep, Iron Man started it.
All right. Yeah, you can tell I still haven't seen all the Marvel movies, even some of the recent ones. But I will be seeing this. All hands are on deck, though. All freaking hands are on deck.
Yeah, they've 2008, if I remember correctly, is when they start doing this.
Okay, and also bring on the CGI, because I'm ready. You need the CGI for this, because it's going to.
If any movie ever warranted having CGI, is this movie.
Right, especially you got all those characters. Thanos, Galactus, or not Galactus, not yet at least. Just
not yet.
Space, magic, everything. This is really like comic book.
It's like the comic
event.
Yes. This is and this is crazy. We've said it a handful of times, but this is going to be the most comic book movie that ever comic booked in the history of comic book movies.
Yeah, the first comic movie event, I would say. Yeah,
Yes, it is. It's like a massive cross. This is part one. That's what makes it an event.
This is part one.
An event's never just one issue.
No. This is like at least a 12-issue movie.
Yeah.
And I still haven't actually read. I still haven't read Infinity Gauntlet, which I probably should at some point. So I'm sure there's definitely something.
I was talking about bringing it back out.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm bringing it back out. I'm bringing it back out. I have the trailer of Infinity Gauntlet, and I saw the trailer was like, yeah, I gotta read it again.
Mm-hmm. I don't blame you, because I'm sure there's some things you're gonna pick up on after reading it too. You're like, oh shit, hope they do that. Oh, they did that. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure there's some characters they'll have to. There's always that case with the Marvel movies, like in the stories, one company has one of them, so they can't use that, so they replace it, type of deal. I'm sure there's gonna be
that is the case. That is the case because in the comic, you had everybody from the Marvel Universe, hero-wise, and they emphasized certain characters like Wolverine and some of the X-Men, and Silver Surfer.
Yeah, yep. That's why I kind of mentioned Galactus.
Yep. Silver Surfer played a very important part in the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh man, that would be so nice to see. Like by the end of the movie, the end credit scene is everyone come together. Marvel Universe, Netflix, Fox. You know the every theater opening night will erupt if that happens. Especially
yes,
the sweaty.
Literally.
The nerd, the true like comic book readers, they are going to scream like little girls and boys.
I may be one of those people.
Yep.
Yes, I think I might actually. I'm late the night that I see Infinity, because that is the fact that they've come this far and done this is amazing to me.
Yep. Oh yeah, and they deserve it. They definitely deserve it. And I think we're going to get some closure for some of these characters as well, who have been staples, i.e., Iron Man, Captain America. Closure and maybe possibly some deaths. I mean, for what I remember, just like hearing about it through the grapevine, like in the end of Infinity Gauntlet, spoilers, everyone does die, but a certain person does bring him back to life. So
I'm not going to necessarily say everybody, but I know that we're going to see a couple deaths in this movie.
Yep. Oh yes, I think we will, especially Thanos being back. But my big question: how will this two-parter reshape the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I don't know. This to be, at least for the immediate future, this will technically be the end of phases.
Right. Well, I think
Like,
by the end of this phase, though, I think it's still going to reshape it moving forward. I just wonder what
it's going to reshape it, but
changes.
everything's not going to be as it's been in the past.
Yeah, I mean, we can't really talk too much on it just because we only have this little trailer.
No.
Like I said, I am going to be checking out after this. I don't need any more. They showed me enough. That being said, let's go ahead and get into some of our favorite parts, some things, some thoughts, some ideas. I'll kick it off with one thing. The Vision Scarlet Witch.
Yes!
It warms my heart. But giving him skin is very... I can't say weird, because him being an android and him falling in love with Scarlet Witch has always been weird. But I think they should embrace the whole weird comic bookness to it. And I just hope it's not one of those cases where he's like, oh, I look better with this and with, you know, human as a human person because I have the mind gem, this and that. I do hope they just squash that. He goes full android looking, and their relationship goes from there. And then I can't believe they just even. I mean, we kind of saw a hint of it in Civil War, which I was happy to see.
Age of Ultron?
Or is it Age of Ultron? Yeah, Age of Ultron 2. But yeah, I'm glad they were like really going with it. Like, I can't believe they're even touching the subject of it, honestly.
I think they have to. You can't, like, that's something you can't have there and not touch on because that's such a big part of both the characters.
Yeah, like I said, warms my heart. Warms my heart. But that was that was like the first thing that happened, one of the first things that happened in the trailer. I was like, oh, yes. Yes, but no at the same time. But let's go to your next little piece that you loved.
This is going to be corny, but I love the fact that they showed the new Spider-Man suit.
Oh, yes. The Alex Ross vibe. Oh, boy.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, boy.
I loved it.
Spider senses?
Oh, it looks so amazing. We finally see what Spider Sense looks like now. I like their approach to Spider Sense.
So did they not have that? Did they not have that in Homecoming?
Oh, has somebody not seen Homecoming yet?
Maybe not. One day I will.
No, in Homecoming they did not address Spider Sense. No.
Okay, that's cool then that they went ahead and threw that in the trailer then.
The idea though is that he's like, the idea is his powers are maturing, so he didn't have Spider Sense yet.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so he doesn't start off like as just full on Spider-Man. He's got to grow into it and he's got to gain certain things.
And based on I did see Ragnarok. So based on Ragnarok, the Loki having the cosmic cube solidified.
Makes sense. Yes.
Solidified.
Loki's got it.
Probably giving it to Thanos, possibly. That could be a misdirect of who he's actually talking to, because it seems maybe all those people that he was like kind of all the dead bodies he was walking over. Maybe that was his people, and he's maybe giving that to him as like a partnership deal. Who knows? Who knows?
I think that's what it is, especially because that would make sense with the end of Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, later in the trailer, I told you earlier that I noticed that Thanos, there's this part where he puts a stone into the Infinity Gauntlet. And at that point in the movie, it looks like he has two stones. One of those stones is blue, which would be the stone that Loki has, and the other one is the Power Stone, the purple stone. And that's also my next favorite moment from the trailer.
Well, so keeping on Spider-Man, going back to Spider-Man real quick.
Okay.
Him being choked out by Thanos.
Oh man, this is what's crazy is we're going to see. There's only a couple of people right now in the Marvel Universe that can technically fight Thanos, but in this movie, we're going to see. It's almost like when we saw in another movie, previously, where we saw a human essentially fighting superpowered beings. That's what this is going to be. We're going to have a lot of characters like Spider-Man who aren't weak at all, but when you compare them to a Thanos, they don't hold a candle to him.
No. And we didn't really even see much of his I I can't remember exactly what they're called, but I want to call them his horsemen, in a sense.
Oh, you talking about the children of Thanos?
Yeah,
the children of Thanos.
Yeah, we didn't necessarily see any face on visual of them, but we saw like the staff, and it looks like Wanda was going up against one of them. But before we get into that, what were you were gonna say something earlier? About Thanos?
It was about Thanos with the gauntlet.
Yes.
I was talking about the scene where he puts the stone into the gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
The scene where he takes one of the stones and he drops it into the gauntlet, and we see that he has 2 stones already.
Yeah. Because I think one of them was the one that was pulled from Vision, right?
No, that's new. That I just had a conversation last night with the wife about this. That was not the stone from Vision, which would be the one that Loki has.
Okay.
The other one is the purple stone, the one that the girl had.
Right. You are correct, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we know, I mean, obviously, I don't even think that's really a spoiler, because we know that Thanos has to be powerful. He has to be the big bad.
Yep.
We'll get into the look of Thanos a little bit later. But, yeah, he's got to be the big bad. We've got to understand that he is a threat. We have to be scared for our superheroes fighting this battle. Like, stuff's going to go down. And it's crazy that this is only part 1. And this trailer...
Didn't it seem like the end of something? Yeah. Like, it seemed like the epic end of a series.
Easily. And to know that there's a part 2 that's pretty much filmed, I believe.
It's done. They did 1 and 2 together.
Yep. So, I wish they would just do it back to back. How... Oh, my God. Imagine... just sitting in the theater for like 6 hours. It'd be like reading a big old trade.
Yeah. Because you know what's going to happen. Someone's going to do a viewing when part 2 comes out, where you can watch 1 and 2 back to back.
Right. You know that. And why wouldn't they? That'd be money. Money.
And then when this comes out on DVD, somebody somewhere is going to make a super cut of this movie and just cut it all in one movie.
Man, bravo, Marvel.
One epic 4-hour movie.
Yep. Bravo. Honestly, like this, I think this will be the payoff. Especially like, you know, Marvel's treating it like, for all you who have like stuck around for all these years, grow with us, watch all these movies. We're going to give you this spectacular vision and, no pun intended, but you know, visual aesthetic of just awesomeness and a great story from two community writers, which always baffles me every time I remember that they wrote one of my favorite shows, Community, and now are doing Avengers. And they're from Cleveland, so Ohio represent.
I keep telling people all the time about Ohio and comics.
Yeah. But what else? Well, yeah, when Cap comes out of the shadows, that's when we see Scarlet Witch fighting probably one of the children of I was about to say Apocalypse, but Thanos.
Well, Thanos.
Yeah, when he comes out of the shadows with that beard and just like the black suit, I was like, damn.
The whole setup in the trailer. The whole setup in the trailer to that, because we had Black Panther.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And he was like,
Black Panther.
No, hold it, because it goes into what you're saying. What I'm about to say goes into what you're saying.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
Because he was like, evacuate the city, increase the defenses, and get that man a shield. And then they sold Captain America. I'm like, I hope that's how the scene goes. I want that to be the scene.
I don't think it will.
And then Captain America step out.
Yeah,
it won't.
Yeah, but that's a great trailer editing and cutting right there.
Yes. Just stepped out the shadows. I'm like, yep, please do it now.
Yeah, that's gonna be. It's gonna be. I'm glad that like they're not. There was like a little bit of comedy, but this is like a serious. We don't have time to, like this. This doesn't need to be Ragnarok funny. This needs to be all hands on deck, fucking shit serious. This world is about to end because Thanos has entered motherfucking Earth. He is here.
I think it's going to start like that. I think the beginning part is going to be it's going to have some comedy in it,
Oh yeah,
and then it's just going to get sucked out the movie when Thanos just pops up and everything starts going crazy.
yeah. I bet the more than likely the opening scene and that where all the comedy will be with Doctor Strange, Hulk, Iron Man, and Wong at the house. I bet that will be the start of the movie because we see that Hulk does crash into the house. So more maybe he gets ejected from the ship that was in Ragnarok at the end credit scene. So that will probably tie up nicely, I think. But what else? Oh yeah, we see the change in Black Widow with the blonde hair, and she's also wearing that sort of Secret Avengers outfit as well. Like her and Captain America possibly started the Secret Avengers at some point, which will be cool. Who knows? And going back to the whole like the future of the Marvel universe, are the Avengers going to be broken after this? Are they going to have an Uncanny Avengers like in the comics? Are we going to have Uncanny Avengers, U.S. Avengers? Imagine if we had 3 Avenger teams out there. Like at this point, this feels like a freaking comic book. Like just the trailer, at least, it feels like a comic book movie. And maybe moving forward, Marvel will go to just a full comic book route. Bring it all in. Bring it all in. Just bring it. They've done everything that they need to do. They've established their universe. Now let's give us sweaty comic book fans that comic book feel of all the movies moving forward. Let's sell this on that way we can have people go out and buy comic books after this movie. Like, hey, you like this? This is what you're getting. This is what you're gonna get in a comic book. Go to your local shop, pick up these books right now because all these writers are doing amazing things and their budget is out the wazoo. So their CGI doesn't even matter. Sorry for my comic book rant, but what do you got?
No, you're fine. I'm agreeing with you 100%. I think this is going to be the ultimate gateway movie.
Yeah.
I think that so many people are going to see this and be like, wait a minute, they actually do this in the books all the time? Like, really? I can read this? Like, seriously? I think, though, the state of the Avengers, I've been saying this forever since they announced, since they were doing this whole lead up. I think that what we're going to get after the movie is over and the dust settles is we're going to get a new Avengers. We're going to get these newer characters that, like Black Panther and Ant-Man and Doctor Strange. I think these are going to be the new characters that are going to be the next Avengers. I think that any of the classic characters that survive or make it out the movie are going to take a step back. Maybe we're going to see less and less of them. We're going to hear hints and rumors that they're doing stuff, behind the scenes, like off panel. But I think that the focus is going to be on the next generation of Marvel characters. That's what I think they're going to focus on.
It definitely should be like some of the younger characters. I love. Okay, since kind of going back to the whole Vision of Scarlet Witch thing, since they are hinting on that so hard, what if we do get House of M and we get that crazy ass Scarlet Witch story? Will Marvel Marvel change the genre? Will they go more adult, not R-rated, but adult, off the wall, like kind of taboo-ish stories that they have in their vault? Like you were saying, pretty much a gateway to what the comic books do.
I think it depends on what characters they're using.
Right. Yeah, because it can't. I mean, obviously, rights. But maybe that'll change by the end of this. Who knows? That's definitely the speculation throughout. Like, oh, what if by the end of this, Marvel and Fox come to a deal? They can shoot a quick edit or end credit scene in literally probably a day, I'd imagine. A week. I'll give it a week.
Yeah.
Costumes are ready, actors flowing in, but they can easily handle that, I think. But yeah. Oh yeah. One thing I do want to say is not even just Fox and Marvel. How about the TV Marvel and movie Marvel coming together for this movie? Speaking of hands-on,
that would be awesome.
Come on,
that would be awesome. Even if there was just a little small scene of the TV characters like saving people.
Yeah. Daredevil, Luke Cage, everyone in Hell's Kitchen banding together. Just something.
Or even just like looking up in the sky at something massive that's coming down. Like Thanos is about to land, he's got this massive ship, and you just see like the back of Daredevil's head or something like that. Even something as small as that would mean so much.
Yeah, Agents of Shield, especially Agents of Shield, they've been around longer than the Netflix has. So I think it's owed to them that they are part of this. It's stupid and fucking petty that the TV and movie people can't. You're on the same team. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we've probably heard rumors and shit like that why they don't do it, but it's just fucking silly. It pisses me off. But let's not get too down on that because that really does bother me. But what else? Thanos, excuse me, doesn't even punch Tony with the gauntlet hand. Did you notice that?
Yep. It's not worth it.
Not worth it. Not worth it at all. Oh boy, yeah. Thanos is going to mess people up. He's just going to be flinging them around easily. like flies. What else? So yeah, I think that's all I really have before I go on to kind of the last. I do want to touch on Thanos real quick. Just kind of like the looks of him. I think hopefully, they still have some touch-ups to do. I'm not the biggest fan of the way he looks. There's been a lot of funny Photoshop done to him. I've seen Hank from King of the Hill. The one that works the most is Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis tops it. The guy from Pawn Stars. And there was another one I saw.
Chumley?
No, not Chumley. Of the owner.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure they probably had some touching up to do. Was the design fine with you?
I mean, I see why they did it. They did it because they have a big name actor as in the role, so they want people to look at Thanos and recognize who it is. Because if you look back at the first Avengers movie, in credit scenes, they show Thanos, and he looks more like he looks in the comic. Like he lines up way more with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get to Guardians of the Galaxy, we start seeing that okay, they wanna show us that this is who Thanos is now because we actually have a voice and we actually have an actor playing him.
Yeah, because at that time they probably didn't have him locked in.
Exactly. I don't mind them slightly changing him. He still resembles Thanos to me. I can still see Thanos in there. He's not comic Thanos. He's not Mad Titan all the way. But as long
you got that scroll chin going on.
yeah, you did. Wow. As long as he acts that role amazingly, I'm not really going to care that much.
I don't think I will. I think they'll.
If I'm terrified,
they do put the armor on him. That helmet's classic.
I do too. I think that he's going to step. I think he steps out the armor because he's like, okay, I got to do it. Because remember, after the last time we saw Thanos, he's like, I got to do it myself.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it's going to be. I think he's going to have the armor, and then when he's getting his hands dirty, he's going to take it off. Okay, let me take this off so I can get serious.
Part 2. I bet.
Part 2, he's going to have the full armor because nobody can touch him. So, I mean...
Yeah, because by the end of this, he'll probably have all the gems. He'll go back to his ship. Mm-hmm. Be on that high horse. He's like, time to kick back. We're on my shiny stuff. Good to go. And then someone's going to have to take him down. And that leads me to Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
Prominent role in this trailer. Prominent. It seems like possibly the third act is in Wakanda. He is going after probably the vibranium or possibly the soul gem.
I'm going to say the soul gem because I was one of those people who thought Thor Ragnarok was going to be where we were going to see the soul gem at.
Same.
And it was not there. So that means we have to have the soul gem established before we get to Infinity. Mm-hmm. So it's got to be in Wakanda.
Yeah. It's because that seems to be where all the heavy battleground is going to be. What if this is comic book nerding out right now? But what if Black Panther is the key, and he is the one like Secret Warrior, or not Secret Warriors, but Secret Wars. Not the original one, but the
I know what you mean.
Yeah, 2015, where he takes Doom down and takes the gauntlet. Oh, my God. If Black Panther is the key, and he is the one that takes down Thanos opposed to Cap, they switch it around from the comics, and like kind of go what you were saying. If like with the new Avengers, this would be the perfect setup to have Black Panther as the new leader.
Yeah, I was going to say that because that's what I think is going to happen. I think Black Panther is going to be the leader of the new Avengers.
That'll warm my heart. Oh boy. But yeah, just Wakanda in general, it looks amazing. The army, the fighters, all the robes and stuff they're wearing, it all looks amazing. And that scene of Captain America, Black Panther, War Machine, and a few others, and the Wakanda army all running.
Yes.
And Bucky at one, because it seems like there was one battle scene in one part of Wakanda, and then another battle scene elsewhere. So,
yep,
Wakanda
that's exactly what it seemed like.
Heavy fire right now, and hopefully Wakanda still stands by the end of this. I think they will, because we'll be able to see Black Panther movie prior to this. So we'll see how he grows as a character, where he stands by the end of that, and if he is the true leader, they will hit. Thanos' army has nothing against Wakanda. It's just awesome that Wakanda is so prominent. That just brings a smile to my face. Whew, man.
Yeah. They were really showing off. They're making it a point to show off Wakanda. Like,
yes,
seriously.
Yes, they are. Man, I gotta say, my hype level for Black Panther is greater than Infinity War still, I gotta say. I'm hyped for Infinity War. Don't get me wrong. Because it is
I think it's even movie. For me.
Even? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's even because for what Black Panther, and just to be said, even though it's even, I have a high level of excitement for both.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just ready for... Because I know Infinity War is going to be fucking beyond amazing. But with Black Panther, I know it's going to be good as well because the cast and the director and the writer are on it. But it's just something that new that we've said if you heard our emergency podcast that we did on the Black Panther our trailer. Yeah, I mean, we didn't go in depth with that. It was only a 12-minute discussion. But we talked probably at least an hour, 24 hours about that trailer off air. Together.
Oh, yeah. If only they knew what happens off air sometimes.
Oh, yes. And I need something new from the Marvel Universe, and Black Panther could be it. But, yeah, I mean, Infinity War, though, it's in May. Time's going to fly.
Right around the corner.
And if I'm correct, the Han Solo movie comes out the next day or something like that, or the same weekend. Disney is being ballsy. I mean, I'm not the hype for the Han Solo movie, really at all. But Infinity Wars, I'll be there. I will.
That's there. Disney.
Yeah. I mean, we could try to spend another 20 minutes on this, but any closing thoughts or things you wanted to say before we move on?
I want to say can't wait. I kind of wish some of the stuff that was in the Comic-Con trailer made it to this because Ryan, spoiler.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
Are you talking about the part where he essentially grabs a planet and throws it at somebody?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that wasn't.
I wish that would have been in there.
I'm glad. I want to see that on.
That would have been. I do too, but that would have been see that
Yeah, I would have been bummed if they would have shown that. I'd be like,
did he just throw half a moon at somebody?
Because I'm gonna have to try and see this on IMAX, because I believe they even shot it in IMAX as well on my IMAX cameras. I mean, so yeah, this is wow. I'll probably have to see it in 3D too.
Yeah, I'm going all out for this, all the way out.
I'll be there right with you, man. It's gonna be
yes.
Good year for sure. Let's go ahead and that's the news that we had. I figured we'd probably gonna touch on that Infinity trailer for a while. But we are going to go ahead and jump to the book for this evening, and let's go ahead and get into that. So, like I mentioned at the top of the show, we are discussing Quarry's War from Titan Comics, and they were awesome enough to send us the press PDF of this, so we do appreciate that. And this is written by Max Allen Collins, art from Simon Kondronsky, and colors from Guy Major. So, kind of just a quick review on it. It pretty much balances the past life and the current life of this now a hitman who used to be, he was a Nam vet, he was in Vietnam War as well. So it's kind of balancing a backstory of him during Nam, and plus now in the present day, not necessarily in the present day, but in the present day of it's like 3 years later, a few years later after he gets back from Nam. And now he's carrying out contracts for a few years now since being back. And yeah, for the most part, it's in the present. They're mapping out, him and his partner are pretty much mapping out their next hit, and things get kind of a little screwy by the end. They are able to kill the hitman on their list, not the hitman, but the guy on their list. In the end, after they kill the hit, they also gain a dog by the end of it. That's pretty much kind of just a quick review of it. But what were some of your overall thoughts on this?
It was not quite what I was expecting to go into it. Honestly, from the cover, I was kind of thinking it was going to be a little like noir a little bit.
Yeah, same.
I was kind of expecting to kind of get that vibe from it. I love the cover, and funny enough, the only part of the book that I really thoroughly enjoyed was the scene that actually has to do with the cover.
Yeah, but
and that was when he picked up the target's wife.
Mm-hmm.
That little scene from when he was talking about meeting her and their little date, quote unquote, that they had, and their night together,
deceiving noir romance because he doesn't know if he can trust her or not. Yeah, it definitely has that kind of. It does have a hint of noir, but also because I believe that, or I do know that actually, Max Allen Collins is a novelist who's been around for quite some time, and he actually, of all the things that he wrote something with Dick Tracy. I can't remember exactly if he was the creator necessarily of it, but I know he has worked with some Dick Tracy stories. Which is interesting. So it's kind of cool to see him kind of breaking into comics as well now. Well, I think he's been doing this for a little bit, but it's cool to see.
Well, that would explain it then. If he's a novelist, then he's slow burning the story then.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean slow cooking the story. It's a slow cooker. It's in a crock pot. It's slow cooking.
Yeah.
It's drawn out, and nothing against a writing style like that, but I think that some writers, when they get into comics, they don't know that the first issue has to hook us in.
Right.
Like, you can have a slow burn for your story, but that first issue has to draw us in and get us to want to pick up the second issue. If you can do that, then you can slow burn the rest of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would have wanted something a little bit more exciting for the first issue of this.
Yeah, it was definitely drawn out, kind of the whole jumping back and forth between the Nam War and his present day. At points it really made it a lull to read.
It was a little jarring.
Yeah,
it was a little jarring a little bit.
Yeah. But I mean, it has all your detective elements. It has the adult crime, the sex, even sexuality is brought up because his partner is actually gay. He even mentions at one point too. He's like, I don't care, if he's gay or not. He does a good job. He does it. His old partner in the Nam War smokes a bunch of weed, as expected.
Yeah,
he was dealing with that. But yeah, a lot of the jumping back and forth. Yeah, like you said, made it jarring. It gives us, I dig the approach of giving us that backstory on the character.
Yep.
but I just maybe not jumping back and
the
forth.
backstory that I got though, the backstory I got from jumping back and forth though, I didn't mean to cut you off like that, but it's just that okay, he was a soldier, he was a really good shot, and he had a partner, a friend in the war that smoked weed. That was like what I got from the backstory.
Yeah, besides up until the end, because right before they make their hit in present day, they actually end up back in Nam. He actually by the end of the mission, they find out that it was pretty much like kids, like 3 or 4 or 5 years younger than them. But even then, I still don't know what this necessarily has to do with the present. That's kind of going with the whole slow cooker thing. Maybe we'll see how it affects them by the end, and that's only the really thing that would kind of draw me back to come back and read this. But at the same time, I can see if you're just a reader that wants to get in and you want this to hook you. Honestly, I think this might be hard for your average comic book reader, because you got, again, with Max being a novelist, he brings that sort of tone and that sort of structure to it, and it's heavy on the narration as well. But, yeah.
It's funny because as you're talking about it, and you keep reminding that he's a novelist. I can see that, because when you're writing a novel or you're writing a book, you have to be pretty descriptive.
Descriptive, right? Mm-hmm.
You know, so some writers are descriptive, some writers are extremely descriptive when they write, and it seems like this, especially with the flashbacks and going back and forth, this is something that would have been done in a novel,
right?
And you would have been able to, it would have been very descriptive, and not that tactics and tricks used in novel writing don't work in comics. I just think that the majority of people are kind of like us who are reading comics, where they're used to certain kind of formats and certain kind of things being done and certain kind of story elements being told in comics a certain way. And this is dramatically different. Yeah. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. There's going to be people out here who like this. This is definitely will have an audience. But as far as what I was expecting getting into it, first time reader of this, average person picking up the book, if they were thinking what I was thinking about this, they're probably going to feel the same way coming out that I did.
Yeah, and when we say it goes back and forth, literally, it goes back and forth.
One page is in the present, one page is in the past. One page is in the present, one page is in the past. Mm-hmm. You might get 2 pages in the present, but then you're going to get, a matter of fact, no, it literally is 1 page in the present, 1 page in the past.
That's what really made it hard for me to get through. Yeah, I think
the part where he hooks up with the wife is the only part where it's like 2 consecutive pages with no flashback.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. There's a flashback. Yeah. There's a flashback. Yeah, there literally is a flashback on the next page.
And with the art, it's kind of I say this a lot on sometimes, it's kind of like commercial art, 90s art, and it kind of has that Dynamite house style.
Boom! I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, because not the biggest fan of the art. Especially I'm a big fan of crime stories. I love my Ed Brubaker, my Kill or Be Killed, all that good stuff. But I like the art to draw me in as well, and the art really did draw me in with this sort of story.
And I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. I was thinking the same thing. I'm glad you said it's like Dynamite House style art. It's not the art per se, it's the colors. I think if they would have went with darker colors with the art, something a little less bright, because a lot of this is almost bright and happy colors almost. Right. If they went with something a little bit darker, I think the art would have jumped. The design, the figures, the basic sketching or the basic line work is fine. It's just the colors. The colors aren't terrible. They're just not the right colors for this kind of story, right, and for the kind of mood he's trying to set. Even when you get the flashbacks in Nam, it still has a polish to it.
It does. Yep. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, this definitely, because actually in the back of the issue as well, it kind of tells you kind of the backstory of how this kind of came together. And Quarry is actually based on one of his old friends who actually took him out to shoot, so you can get a feel for that whole vibe and the being in the army vibe. So I do appreciate him actually basing it off of a friend, and there actually being some story to this as well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I really don't have too much on it. Like we said, it's drawn out, and you don't get a lot of story besides the fact that they're trying to set up their first hit. I mean, I'll give it to them. They actually, with this first issue, they get to the point of, they need to set up their first hit.
They hit
their first hit.
They do it.
Yeah, they do it. So props there. But I'm just not sure.
And I did enjoy that part too. That's the other part I enjoyed was the actual when they got to the hit and he's going out like I'm going to go jogging and he means to do while he's jogging. And yeah, I enjoyed that. But what you're probably about to say is definitely the feel of the issue drawn out.
Yeah, and I think probably my favorite scene as well is when he does talk to the wife, and that sort of the narrations kind of talking about how she tells him it's one thing and they're both lying to each other. Kind of reminds me of that sort of that 40s 50s Hollywood feel that I would
that's exactly because he meets her at the pool. She's at the pool when he meets her, and then the dialogue they have almost does have like that feel too.
Mm-hmm. My mom watched a lot of TMC.
TMC,
while I was growing up, so I get that vibe from it. But I wish
that explains your fascination with noir.
Yeah, I wish the cover art was the interiors. I do love the cover; it's really cool.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, I think that's about. Unless you have anything else, really.
No.
Yeah. Cool. Well, what's going to be your score on this first issue?
I'm gonna go with a 4. It wasn't absolutely terrible. It was just jarring for me because it's not what I was expecting. I'm not the biggest fan of noir, but based off the cover, because the cover looks like a pulp magazine, I'm expecting to see a pulpy noir story. And then I get in here and I see something that has the elements of it, but it's not quite that, and it's drawn out. And the art was too polished, I think, for the story that's being told. I think this would have been fine in a different book, but for this kind of story and for you to want to have that noir feel, I think it needs to be gritty.
I definitely agree. I'm going to go a little bit higher than you, and I'm going to give it a 5.9. I see what it was doing. I see what the approach is, but I think for any new reader jumping onto this, saying based off the cover, like, oh, this is some kind of weird noir stuff going on. Excuse me, you might be a little bored halfway through as it keeps jumping back and forth, and the backstory does. God, man, I gotta clear my throat. The backstory definitely necessarily doesn't have anything to deal with what's going on in the present. I could see how that might want to keep you around, but even then, I'm still like, it just didn't catch me enough to want to keep coming back. But again, I'll give it the 3-issue rule, and I'll see where these next 2 issues go, and hopefully it gets better. But this was a very, very slow start. And yeah, with the art, not a fan of the art. I think, like you said, I think it is the colors. I think if it would have been more of a different tone, it could have worked more. And maybe my score would have been a little bit higher. But yeah, 5.9 for me. Yeah, hopefully it gets better, though. But that is our book review, our news, our in-depth discussion of Infinity War and how we're crazy hyped for it. But other than that, you got anything else, really?
No.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for listening, everyone, as we ramble on about comic book related stuff, comic book reviews. Check back Monday. We will have our X-Men Monday podcast. Soon we are going to be getting together with Saren to do our Spider-Women trade episode review on that. And plus, January 1st, 2018, we got some stuff coming your way. So, if you like us, make sure you stick around, tell your friends. We always, it's always cool to hear people that are listening to us and let us know. Really awesome of you. But yeah, thank you for all the support. But until then, we will talk to you next week or in 2 weeks. Later.